Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out at the end of this year, 2026, and it's making me think the first time we heard about Grand Theft Auto 6, the first time we heard it being announced was all the way back at the end of 2023. So I'm asking the question now, why? Why was Grand Theft Auto 6 announced so early? After multiple huge delays for Grand Theft Auto 6. Why? What was the point of announcing the game just to postpone it multiple times? What was the point of announcing it if it was years and years away? And today I'll be telling you exactly why I think Rockstar Games announced Grand Theft Auto 6 so early. Now, the first time it was officially announced in Grand Theft Auto 6 Trailer 1 released, it was December 4th, 2023. Oh my gosh, that is so long ago. It will be 3 years by the time Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out that it was announced. But unless you were living under a rock, we all remember when the huge leaks came out way before that. In 2022, a large portion of Grand Theft Auto 6 was released. A whole bunch of videos, a whole bunch of everything was leaked online by I think it was some 16-year-old that released it all. And that was the first time we really got confirmation that Grand Theft Auto 6 was under development, because they had never announced it. Of course, we assumed they were working on Grand Theft Auto 6. Everyone was assuming that they were working on Grand Theft Auto 6, but we knew nothing about it. We knew nothing about it, and for all we knew, they weren't even thinking about Grand Theft Auto 6. It was all just assumptions and speculations until these leaks were released, the 2022 leaks. And after that, it tremendously affected Rockstar Games. I think still to this day, Rockstar Games is still recovering from them huge leaks back in 2022. Of course, Rockstar Games want to be the first ones to release any information about the game. They want anything that the public sees. Rockstar Games wants to be behind it, being the ones that show you. So after those leaks of 2022, Rockstar Games had a lot of pressure on them to finally release something, to finally announce something, to finally acknowledge the existence of Grand Theft Auto 6, to finally announce that it's under development. So one huge reason they announced it so early back in 2023 is because of these leaks the year before. I mean, imagine we got these leaks in 2022 and we just don't hear anything until 2026. That would be insane. That would be insane if that happened, if there was just these huge leaks. Rockstar Games just swept it under the rug and never said anything about it for 3 years, 4 years actually. So that a big reason on why they announced it a year later was because of these huge leaks. But not only that, imagine the last Rockstar games that came out was Red Dead Redemption 2 all the way back in 2018. So just imagine if since the Red Dead Redemption 2 release all the way to now 2026, imagine if they waited till 2026, 6 months before announcing Grand Theft Auto 6, before it came out. Imagine we had that huge gap in between where we heard nothing. Okay, how many years is that? 2018 to 2026? That is 8 years. Imagine going 8 years without hearing from the company and knowing what they're working on. Just radio silence from the company. Rockstar Games had to give us something. They had to give us something. They had to announce Grand Theft Auto 6 early to give us something to hold on to give us hope, to give us something to wait for. Because Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out 8 years after Red Dead Redemption 2. So if they waited right before to announce Grand Theft Auto 6, we would have nothing. For 8 years, we would have had nothing but Grand Theft Auto Online. And we all see how that's going now that everyone's busy with GTA 6, okay? GTA Online isn't all that, okay? It wasn't enough to keep the fans satisfied for 8 years. So they had to announce it early to give us something. Just so we know that the company's not failing, that the company's just going AWOL, doing whatever, doing nothing, okay? They had to tell us, at least announce to us, that they are working on something. That is one of the reasons they announced it so early. Now, they shouldn't have they shouldn't have gave us a release date so close. They shouldn't have said it was going to come out 2024, 2025, 2026. They should have just waited to release a release date until they knew when it was exactly going to come out, okay? They could have came out with the trailer in 2023 and said, "We don't have a release date with it yet, but we just want to share with you guys that we're working on something and we're not just sniffing our asses, okay? We want to give you something, we just don't have a release date for it yet." But the reason they put a release date, what I think the reason they put a release date is investors, okay? They had to give the investors something. If they didn't release a release date, if they didn't have a deadline or a finish line, investors wouldn't be putting any money into it. Okay, why would investors put money into something, into a game that they don't even know if it's gonna come out or not? Okay, if there's no release date and it's taking, how long have they been working on this? 2018, 8 years. Imagine investing into a project for 8 years and it still doesn't have a deadline. It still doesn't have a time for launch. So they had to keep creating a deadline, creating a release date, and pushing it back for investors to keep investors happy. Because the way these games are made are investors. People invest their money into these games expecting to get a portion back when the game releases. There is a lot of business side of stuff that's going on in the inside with investors and CEOs and parent companies, and I'm sure Take-Two Interactive was hammering for a release date. And I've always had the theory that Rockstar Games knew that it wasn't going to be ready in 2024, 2025, 2026. I think Rockstar Games knew that the last 2 delays were going to happen. They knew it, but they had to give out a release date to keep their parent company satisfied. Because when the Take-Two Interactive CEO came out, he always said, "Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna come out around this time. There's not gonna be a delay." And then a few months later, there was a delay. But seeing those interviews, seeing him talk about there's not gonna be a delay, I believed him. And even that, I think he believed it himself. And I think Rockstar Games was just telling their parent company a release date to keep them satisfied. So, and I'm sure that Take-Two Interactive is hammering to get this game out. So I'm sure there's a lot of things that's going into Rockstar Games, into this whole situation, on why it was announced so early and why there was so many delays. I feel like the whole time Rockstar Games knew. They knew the game wasn't going to come out till 2026. They knew the whole time, but they had to come up with these fake release dates to keep investors happy, to satisfy the parent companies, to keep faith in the fans, to keep the fans having faith in them, to at least announce something. There's a lot of things that went into this in which made Rockstar Games have so many release dates and announce the game so early. But that's all I have for today. Hopefully there's no more delays. I really don't think there's gonna be delay, but I said that like 4 times, okay? I'm always saying, "Oh, I don't think it's gonna be delayed," and then it gets delayed. So it's honestly, the more time the better. This is an ambitious game. If it gets delayed, I'm not gonna be too salty, okay? Take your time on it. We don't need another Cyberpunk situation. But that's all I have for today, so stay tuned.